Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Education Concierge Podcast. I'm your host, Benita G, but you already know that. If you are new to us, welcome to the TEC family. If you're our loyal and faithful family members that's been coming to the cookout, the barbecue, and the family reunions, welcome back. I am excited because y'all know I love technology. And, considering that I'm an old head, that's what they call me, in the school system sometimes, in the classroom and in the conference, technology has always been something that I tried to make sure I stayed on top of because then it would help other old heads like me not be scared. Because I'm like, if I can do it, you can do it. I have an amazing person on today who is like, I be stalking her page. I be on there looking at like, what is she doing? How do I sign up for this? Man, I missed it. And so I'm excited to have her on. She is amazing about tech, amazing about teaching tech. And we have people that we don't like. We do not like gatekeepers, but she is not one of them. She's like, come on in here, get this, understand this, learn this. She just had a cute little video on LinkedIn where she was at a tech conference and she's dancing and they have the stuff going. I was like, how do they do that? Like, how do I do that? How do I improve myself? And we know that technology is the best thing to introduce education and to get the kids just centered around it. But we also have to feel comfortable with it. And that's why I enjoy watching her and following her because she's very comfortable in it. And just like, look, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Everybody, welcome to the stage because y'all know how I feel about pronouncing names correctly. Dr. Jocelyn McDonald. I'm excited. I know you'll be excited. She's going to give us a wealth of information, but of all the things, we are just going to have some fun and have a conversation about education. Welcome to the family, Dr. Mac, as they call you.
Hello, everyone. I am super excited to be here. Thank you so much for the introduction. Oh my goodness. I was like, oh, this in the background. I was like,
That's you. When we bring you on the show, I'm a good old country girl. Well, yeah, I'm a good old country girl. I'm more country than Southern. From Lawrenceville, Virginia. And when we invite you over for family dinner, come in, take your shoes off at the door, and you go wash your hands, not in the kitchen. Go down the hall to the bathroom and do not, I know you know, but don't wipe your hands on the dish, on the towels, on the thing. We have paper towels for you. And we're going to fix your plate. It's going to be ready for you. And we are excited to give you a big glass of cold, sweet iced tea because unsweetened tea is blasphemy. I don't understand. Or anybody, I do understand why we make it. I know. But please introduce yourself and tell us how you became an educator and how are you disrupting education?
all right. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Jocelyn McDonald, but as you've heard, everyone calls me Dr. Mac. I'm a digital leader, a change maker in education. I work with school districts, educators, and leaders with implementing and integrating technology practices to enhance teaching, learning, and my favorite, leadership. I've been in education I've been sticking with 19 plus years, but I went over the curve already. Of 20 years, I've been saying 19 plus, but over 20 years. And I've been so passionate about creating meaningful learning environments and really amplifying educators' voices in those spaces by leveraging technology to personalize learning, improve student outcomes, and create future-ready classrooms. And so I also serve as the director of digital learning for a school district here in Texas. And so I get to do my work, throughout the day, through 9 to 5 on the weekends. It's just really empowering for myself to really impact others and for them to also impact me in the work. And so I am super excited about being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. So we already know. Let's just go ahead and start off. How are you disrupting and reimagining education? And I want you to come at the angle of when you're working with educators in the class. Both of us have been in 20 plus. I did 26. I think I did 26 years before I left the traditional classroom, but still work with teachers, still work with students. And one of the things that I always ran into was, well, I've been doing it like this for 20 years. And I'm like, and it's wrong. So how do you reimagine? How do you disrupt that chain of thought and really pull the teachers in? Because I always tell teachers, we cannot be scared of the technology because the kids, that's like breathing to them.
Right.
And so, what are some tools you use?
Well, lately I've been disrupting with AI a lot. And, a lot of times we put it on the teachers, but I always like to bring it back to the leadership because I feel like if the leadership matters really, really for their leadership and their vulnerability to they're modeling and really pushing the transformation to make teachers more comfortable. And so a lot of times when teachers see that their leaders are more comfortable with at least trying to use tech or trying to show that level that, they may not have all the answers, but they're in the work with you. That usually helps teachers feel more comfortable with implementing and disrupting themselves. And so with AI, recently, we have a literacy crisis in our country, of course. And so it's always great to find ways to leverage. So recently, I've been leveraging AI and teaching and training leaders and teachers on how to use AI to help close that literacy gap. And so one of the things I know specifically in our area is writing has been like this big initiative where, states are doing accountability, and now they're leveraging AI to rate their students' writing. And now, it's not the same as it used to be, right? And so now I'm like, how do we now disrupt that? How do we teach our students to use AI to be better writers? How do we teach our students to use AI to help support them and make that change? And so lately, my disruption has been centered around how do we leverage technology and AI to really create impactful learning environments and change that traditional teaching method to help teachers with maximizing their potential and really elevating the work that they're already doing in the classroom, which makes them a lot more comfortable when the student is doing the heavy lift over the teacher.
I love that. Okay, so we were at a conference. I did a panel discussion, and someone asked about AI, and my response was, "You've been using AI for at least 10 years. You just don't know it." And they looked at me like, "Really?" And I said, "Yes." And in the classroom, you just didn't realize that's what you were doing. And I said, and the only way the only way you can do AI is to go through it. Like it's already here. We can't be scared. But I love how you took it back to leadership. And those of us in education, we know that leadership matters. And I love how you said, even though they may not know everything, if they're even saying, "Go ahead, you know what, Benita, go ahead. I believe you can do it. Go to that conference, learn everything you're supposed to learn, and then come back and teach us." And that's fine. Because there's some I've had principals like that. They're like, "Look, it's enough on my plate. I know we need it. Go, just do it." And then I go do it, and then I come back, and I'm like, "Okay, so I just need like two 30-minute sessions, and then I can train the teachers." He's like, "Okay, good, go." So I love that you did that. As we walk into AI, I don't want to, I hate to call out names because they're not sponsoring us, but I'm going to call them out. I've been using Conmigo and Khan Academy. We've been using Gamma AI to do students have learned how to use that to do their presentations, and we've been using some Canva, and Canva now has incorporated more AI. And I was following you because I saw it on yours, and you were using Google Talk,
Google Read Along?
Google Read Along. Yes.
Oh, yeah. So that's something new that they're pushing. Microsoft actually has a version of that too called Reading Coach. And so I was really excited when I saw Google release their read along which leverages AI to support students' reading fluency. And so if everyone may not have access to it, but they have like a place where you can go online and if you go to my blog, I have the link there, and you can go and experience how AI can give students instant feedback on their reading fluency and help them with identifying areas of support. And just imagine how that's able to maximize the teacher's efforts. And really allowing them to have that personalized learning experience. And so you can do that with Reading Coach or now Google's Read Along. And so they're similar in nature, but I love the fact that it's really changed the trajectory of how we see learning in the classroom and how teachers see themselves in the classroom. Because a lot of times we're at the front and, we're on the board writing, teaching everyone, we want students to be in line, in place, well behaved. But sometimes, even if they are, it's like, you're not reaching everyone. They're being passively engaged. And so it's really important to leverage tools and leveraging these new AI ones that can come out and help support, really drive that initiative. And so those are definitely two that I've been promoting and sharing out with others, depending on what climate, of course, they're accustomed to. If you're on the Microsoft side, Reading Coach may be for you, but hey, Google people, now you got Read Along that you can go now and explore those, and you can assign them out as assignments and have them do. And so you can really close that gap if they have access to the internet at home with some of those features and be able to still really break down the walls of the classroom and continue supporting our students.
So thank you for breaking that down, because that was my next question. Like, tell me how do we incorporate? So as you move forward, and we're looking, and I'm always looking at, I'm in a more micro school setting, a private school setting. My ratio right now is like 2 teachers to 15 students. We have more flexibility. Like the other day, I was telling somebody, I said, yeah, my students came in. One, his mom had texted me. She was like, we had a rough night. He's tired and grumpy. He walked in. I said, go to the back, go lay on the sofa, take a nap. He slept for like 2 hours. Got up. And I said, get a snack. He grabbed his snack. He came in. He went right to work. He was like, he looked at his board. He was like, okay, these are the things I need to do. And so as we're changing, I just watched. I'm a YouTube. I don't even have a TV, so I'm a YouTube watcher. And I watched. I cannot remember the name of the new school, but we have schools coming out, whether they're public, private, or charter, that are now incorporating more of what you're saying, AI teaching. So 2 hours on the computer where they're doing a program and they're learning from AI and they're learning from the computer. And then they go into social emotional, they go into physical activity, we go into hands-on exploration with science and different things. Where do you see that still coming into public school, and how are we adjusting? Because I know, like you said, like we kind of want the kids like this. I was never that teacher. That's how I always got in trouble. I was that teacher that had like a lounge, and my kids are laying on bean bags, and shoes were off, and I had I had the harsh light off, and I bought all these lamps from Target that were $14, and just I'm in there with a strobe light. They're like, "What is a strobe?" I don't know what a strobe light does for the kids. It did something, and everybody feelings were calm, and I was in middle school, so they just how are we or how can you see as AI is coming into the classroom and it's already there? How do you see it really adjusting and changing our traditional education makeup, which we know needs to change?
Right.
And what are the little steps that we can do, especially as a TEC family, in our own classrooms, in our own districts, in our own school board, in our own going to conferences? What are some little things that we can do to push the change a little bit quicker?
A little bit. Well, if you add quicker on there, I'm gonna go back to leadership. Leadership matters all day long. And so, I mean, it's a mindset. So I find that when I'm out training, and so I train in different districts as well, and I support. And you'll find that mindset is everything. And so people have a preconceived notion of what they feel AI is or what it does, all the negative sides of it. But it's really refocusing on what the positive is. Of course, there's always pros and cons to things. And so, like, one of the number one things that you hear about AI when you're talking to a teacher who may have not really indulged, or a leader who hasn't indulged in exploring with it, is that kids are going to cheat. Well, kids were cheating before. They're going to cheat, again. They're going to keep cheating. I mean, that's going to happen. So now we have to start rethinking, how do we assess our students' learning? Like, are we still expecting them to do and learn things with the same amount of information that we had? They have a load of information in milliseconds of time, and we just didn't have that access. So we can't continue to assess them in the same mindsets of how we learned in school. And we didn't have Google. We didn't have, I didn't have Google. I can't speak for all the other education, but we didn't have those things when I was in school to be able to access learning. So when it came around, it's like, oh, I can go here. Well, Wikipedia this, and so those were all, new things while I was in education teaching. And so I really think that AI is bringing another lever in where, one, if you change your mindset, how can we positively use it? And as you've already named so many different tools that are out there, you have a lot of companies that are education targeted focus. For example, Magic School is another one that we're using. So like even with teachers I'm working with now, we're leveraging Magic School on the student feedback side. So now students can enter in their writing sample, they can get instant feedback, whereas it would take a traditional teacher a multitude. If you had a traditional classroom, let's say you have 24, 27 kids in there, there's no way one teacher is going to be able to give instant feedback to that many kids in a short amount of time. Usually they're accustomed to taking those papers home and grading them, but feedback for students, and I would say feedback is a gift. And so it really, for a teacher to be able to do that, leadership has to be on board. So I can even speak to like some initiatives with the school district I work with. Like I'm working with the principals directly to create an implementation plan that's in alignment to their school initiatives. And so if it's in alignment to their school initiatives, it usually makes sense. And so sometimes we want to throw out technology out there and it may not be something that they're ready for, but if you're hitting that pain point that it solves a problem for it, usually you can have adoption happen a little bit quicker than you would say, oh, this is a great tool to use. But if you're hitting something that teachers are experiencing, they're feeling that they need, and they have not an immediate solution, but they have a better solution to enhance what they're doing, the adoption rate tends to increase. And when you have a leadership on board that's ready to provide an environment for their teachers to engage and continue to engage in that, that even helps it even more. And so I think, I believe in the diffusion of innovation. And so I think it does start with leadership first. And so even if you don't have the answers, creating that opportunity for professional learning, engaging with it themselves, leveraging leaders on your campus or teacher leaders on your campus who may have, taken that step forward already to help with building capacity and building a culture of learning and culture of innovation in your school. And so those are the little things I think that can really help really move the initiatives versus like, oh, here's a nice shiny tool that you can use. But now let's align it to an objective that's hitting a pain point that's going to support you and your initiative, your campus goals, your classroom goals, and supporting your students. And then let's provide space and scaffold it over time. It can't be a one hit or miss type of thing. You get this training one time and you're off to, you're off. Now figure it out. It can't be that. It has to be continuous learning over time and reflection and sharing and connecting. And so I think it's like a cycle of continuous improvement just to create that opportunity for teachers.
Dr. I'm just so because he said so much, and I'm like, well, where are all of the people that are thinking like Dr. Mack? Because the first thing you said was, we cannot expect what we did, I tell my students, in the 1900s to happen in the 2000 pluses. And you said, when you said it, I said, oh my gosh, I was a former ELA teacher, middle school. We're talking about 128 to 168 students, depending on the given year in the school I'm in. And we're writing. And then, okay, I did great. We moved to Google Docs. So I can't give you instant feedback. But here I am in class with my computer open, 35 kids. And I'm like, that's still 35 kids. And I'm not going to get to everybody that day. And then we're doing group rotations because I need to sit down with you.
Right.
Because even though I say, hey, put a period, the period goes behind the last word in the sentence, not a space and period. You're looking at me like, or even me teaching, okay, a blue squiggly line underneath your word when you right click means this. A red squiggly line, right click, it means this. And that's the first time I realized, oh my goodness, my kids are phone literate, not computer literate. Okay, so let me back up. So I love that you said, like, stop trying to make these kids or stop trying to assess the kids on the new stuff the old way. Because that is not working. But then you said something, and I was sitting here like, oh my goodness. If you are not connecting it to what the pain point is, that's why there's no connection for me trying to learn how to do it. How does this improve me as an educator and improve me educating the students in class? And once you connect it to that pain point, I now have buy-in because I'm like, but yes, and also you said, look, gone are the days that we go to one day PD and, oh, we have it. We do not have it. We didn't have it then. It still took us it took us having meetings with each other after school or talking in the teacher's lounge, like, girl, no, click here. It still took that. So why don't you just go ahead and pay somebody like Dr. Mack to come in the summer for a whole week of training? Like, what are we doing now? And so I'm glad you're putting this out here. TEC family, you already, and I know I have superintendents and upper level administrators that watch this show. And I know you're listening. Stop playing with us. We're trying to get there, but you can't give us a 45-minute introduction class during PD week. Tell us if y'all got it. We don't. And then when you come observe us, you're like, how come you're not implementing? That's why. Thank you for that. Okay. We're going to keep, because I can stay on that all day. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to stop. Here's our next focus. What are the challenges you see that are coming? And you spoke about one of them. One of them is, and you can even go deeper into that. People are always like, oh, the kids are cheating. Let me tell y'all something. Brunswick Senior High School, Coach Shepard, may he rest in peace, honors, I don't even know, I think it was an honors social studies or history class. We cheated. The gifted kids, the 25 deep, we are the gifted kids, they are the AP, whatever the thing is, over that thing. And he walked out to get coffee because it's in the 1900s and teachers left us in the room because they did. And coach left and me, I'm the ringleader. Hey, let's go down the list real quick. Hey, somebody watch the door. We was cheating. And we were good at it. And I was like, because everybody can't get 100. Okay. So if you've been getting the 88, you've been getting 80s, let's go. But maybe we can push you up a little bit so you don't get a C. Okay. I'm not big in A's. I'm not gonna be trying to get A today. Okay. I've been getting solid B's. I'm gonna keep it with my B status. So some of these gonna be wrong. Okay. Okay. If you've been getting the A, let's go. Okay. And we're not gonna get the same ones wrong. I'm gonna need you to get 15. I'm gonna need you to get 17 wrong. Like what we doing? And my friends are sitting there like, yeah, Benita, that's right. I said, okay, let's go. We cheated. And he knew we was cheating. I know coach knew we was cheating. He didn't care. He's like, okay, I'm going to go get some more coffee and use the bathroom and watch the sun or something and then come back. And he literally came back 30 minutes later. Like, coach, what you doing? And so now we know we're not, don't leave the kids. It's not a 1900, stay in the room. Okay. But kids cheat and they cheat in front of you. They, we've had the water bottle where you can't bring the water bottle because they didn't wrote it on the inside of the label. We put phones and then we got, I need your smartwatch. I need your earbuds. I need everything off of you. Almost like the airport, just strip so you can take this test. What do you see as we move forward? What's going to be some of the challenges while we're in this innovation stage?
Challenges. Well, I mean, there's always, of course, okay, so I guess I look at this twofold, especially when we're talking about AI. So AI with challenges is definitely privacy concerns and things of that nature. But as far as the challenge is really us rethinking how we assess our students. And so you have it now where, students, you can go to ChatGPT, even though we have it turned off within the districts, they have access to it on their phone. They can go somewhere else and they're submitting work, they can get help, but you can also teach them how to positively use it. And if you're consumers of it, it's easy for you to identify whether they use it or not. And so the challenge is really rethinking how we're assessing. And so is an essay a proper way to assess a student's knowledge because they wrote information down? Or can they also assess, present, and explain? So we have to bring in some of the speaking and listening skills along with that. So what are some other soft skills that would really benefit them? Because how many of us are going to work writing essays? I mean, outside of probably implementation plans or things of that nature, but we're not like writing an essay as a standard work practice, unless you're at a place where you're doing like a report or something. But even now we're using AI. Like I use AI to help me respond to emails because it's a time saving factor. And when you teach students to use it in a positive way, the sky's the limit. Well, have them write their paper by hand and then have them generate one and ask what the comparison is or ask it to give it feedback, like teach them to find nuances to help support them in being better thinkers. And so I even noticed for myself, to be honest, like I don't consider myself to be, when it comes to be the best writer out there or a responder or whatever the case may be. But I feel like AI has kind of elevated my language a lot, to be honest. And so, because it's very specific. You have to be really intuitive into like what it's saying, and it may not generate exactly what you want. So you have to go back in. It's an iterative process and continue with it. And so I think that helps with adding skills that we weren't really looking for inadvertently when you're using it. And so the challenge is just change. The mindset is one of our biggest challenges. The other thing is, other challenges could also be, budget or other things, because of course, as more AI is getting more popular out there, there's fees that are connected with, and a lot of these new programs are probably on their freemiums right now, but at some point, I'm sure that it may change. And so getting access to it and make it equitable for all students in different learning spaces. And so, let's talk about equity. And so the equity of learning experiences. And so I think that may be another challenge depending on what teachers are pushing for certain initiatives and certain zip codes of certain cities versus, others who may not have that opportunity. And we're focused on, other things, you got the social emotional things that are happening, but you can use AI to even help support that with creating opportunities. And so I also think that it could be, we already have a digital divide, but it could get wider with AI if we don't start, ensuring that we're leveraging it on all levels and no matter the zip code or the performance of that school. So just because you're a low performing school does not mean you can't. You have to focus on just these skills because you have to be accountable. You can also leverage innovative things and help support the work that's already happening and really amplify that. And so, I think there's multiple. I hope I answered that question right, but I think there are multiple challenges between mindset, budget constraints, and then also, of course, just being able to close that digital divide gap with equity and access to teaching practices outside of just connectivity. So those are things I think are relevant to ensure that we're all leveraging it in some capacity. I think once you become a consumer of it, it's easy for you to start adapting. So a lot of times with our leaders that I support, like I was like, just what is something that if you could do and save time, what would it be? And then let's start with that. And then like, oh, next to get amazed. Next, thing you know, they're interested. And now you're slowly getting buy-in. And then now, okay, what about the students? What if we did this? And so it's definitely a process. I'm looking forward to what next year is going to bring, because I can tell you it's moving pretty fast. Like
Yes.
it's a new app every week on so many different things. And so I'm really looking forward to like the impact that it's going to start making on the practices of teachers. And oh, one more other thing, speaking of teachers, we have a teacher shortage. You have a lot of teachers who are leaving the profession, and then we have a lot of people who are coming in. Like I know specifically in our area in Texas, we have something called a District of Innovation. And so they're able to hire teachers who haven't finished school yet. You know, you're still getting your hours as working on your bachelor's, whereas before you have to have your certification, go to a teacher prep or something of that nature. And now you're able to start into these classrooms with no experience. You have to learn how to teach. But that is your challenge. Yeah. And so we're challenged with even having people coming into the profession without a background and they just ready to jump in. I think leveraging AI and leveraging tools, like sometimes they're scared to introduce those things to them. But I think that it will actually help accelerate their work forward, because they may not have to do the heavy load that we have to do when we first started teaching, because I wasn't a traditional teacher. I came in on a ACP program and still wasn't prepared for my first year. But yeah, so I think those are all ongoing challenges that we just have to continue to tackle and just really be open to other opportunities and create those spaces for us to engage in and for our teachers too.
Well, I love that. And you said something that was important. I was thinking about it, then you said it, and I was like, so I wonder how many people who push back against AI, who are say some things about AI. I wonder how many of them have actually used it. But you even said it, you're like, no, I encourage, like I stop and say, okay, who has used it? Okay, wait, let's use it now. Because that's one of the things that I've seen where I hear someone say, oh, it's this and it's ruining the kids. And I was like, do you use AI? And they go, okay, well, you wait a minute. So,
already.
So let's go to Gemini. We'll just Google. Let's go to ChatGPT. I said, then just put in something simple. I said, this is what I want you to write. I am going on spring break. I would like to know 4 local things that I can do because we are not leaving the city of, but whatever city you're in. And give me 4 things I can do with children and whatever age your children are in, whatever age they're in. And then and then ask it. And then put whatever money you want to do, some free stuff, whatever you want to do. And I said, then watch it spit out a plan for you. And it's something as simple as that. And they sit there and go, I said, Because then when I did that in Miami with a group of teachers, and they were like, I said, I said, now go back. Be very specific, like we asked the students. I said, so be very specific and say, we only want to do water sport. We only want to do activities around or near water. And then I said, right. I said, and we can go up to Broward County, or we can go as far away as the Keys. And they're like, oh my God. I said, so what are you fussing about? Right. Let's pause. Look at how it just helped you. Now spring break, we don't have any money. You can't go anywhere. Look at all the things you can do with your kids and your kids' friends. And a bunch of y'all can get together and take the kids over here. And on Tuesday, it's free. And then I love how you said it. You're like, no, let me just, and something simple, like you said, like, hey, start a workout routine. I'm 40 years old and and it'll spit out a workout routine for you. And I was like, see, and I love how you're like, okay, now how do we incorporate that in the classroom? And it can be little things like that. I have done what you said, where my students wrote the haiku. We just do, first we got to do little bite-sized stuff. I said, now go type the haiku in to Gemini and ask Gemini, is this correct? That's all you're going to ask. And I said, and if it says no, then you got to start over again and do it line by line, like we're supposed to. And some of the kids got back, they were like, this is not a haiku because you don't have the da-da-da-da-da-da. And they were like, I said, yeah. So go back to your piece of paper, because you didn't ask me to write it. You just asked, this is correct. Go back to your piece of paper and fix it. And they went back and forth. And then, of course, one of my students was like, well, can I just get it to write it for me? You can. But for me, that would not give you full credit. That's all. I mean, it can. But because I want you to understand, like we're going back and forth, and then we're looking at the syllables, and it's saying to you, this is not correct. And so then we went back. And then I said, tell them what you want to talk about. And I did it as a group. So I pulled it up and we did it on the computer. And I said, okay, so we want a haiku about living in Memphis, but we only want them to use Memphis slang. And I think the kids are like, oh, and it did it. And I was like, oh, look at y'all. Y'all famous because it knows Memphis slang. And so I think when you, like you said, when you incorporate it, when you teach the strategies, and then the kids realize I wasn't scared of it. We're going to use it occasionally because I'm getting them, like you said, I'm just getting them used to it and then showing them how it can enhance their lives, but not take over. It just doesn't need to take over your education right now, but it will enhance it. Oh my gosh. I need you to do like a master class. Like, when is your seminar? So we can sign up.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I mean, because I am I'm actually getting ready to offer one where we can have live sessions with me. And so on Grow with Dr. Mac. And so I do sessions, monthly, which is free for anyone to attend. And so, it's been great to have people all over join in from different places in different fields. I had people in fields I wasn't expecting to join in. So you just learn about AI. Yes. And I know we probably focus on AI. I mean, AI isn't the only tool out there, but it's definitely, when we started with talk about disruption, I think it's one of the disruptors in education right now. It's really disrupting the way we think, the way we teach, the way we assess it, and the way we really maximize the classroom. Sometimes you just need just a little coach to go along with you, kind of get you through those steps and help ideate and think through different ways to kind of solve some of those problems. You can start with bite size, and then you can expand. And go from there. And so, I definitely will, I guess when we get to that segment to share my information, how people can contact me, I'll definitely share all of that. Yes.
I love that. Okay. So we are going to go into the part where we talk about this. We're going to do what we call this or that. Now, this one is, I give you a choice of this or that. Now, we are in education. We already know there's really white, there's gray areas. So if you're like, Benita, it's both, that is an acceptable answer also. But it's just something really quick to see so we can learn more about you. Some of it is about just your life. Some of it is just about how we look at education and some educational things. Are you ready?
I'm always bad at these, so let's see, because it might be a both or a one. Let's see. Well, I'm ready.
So traditional class or virtual learning environment?
I think you can have a balance of both. I think there's definitely some benefits to having the human connection and in-person pieces, but I also think you can do it online too if you had to. It's a skill set. I think even like us, we are online and having a conversation that's really engaging. I think teachers can still do that. It's just a skill set you have to learn how to manage. But I would say a balance of both would be great.
I love that. Okay. Individual projects or collective group work?
I like collective. Only because I think it helps with building our students' communication and critical thinking skills. I think that helps out with soft skills that they need, like post-secondary school.
Definitely. I love that. Okay. In-person workshops or online webinar?
That's a hard one. I personally love in-person, but I just like to present. And so I have more fun when I'm in person because I can feel them. But you can do a mix of both. I think it depends on the time, place, because virtual has its moments, especially if you're not able to get to a city or a place, but you have to miss out on the learning. And so I say a balance of both for those, not either or for me.
I love it. Okay. E-books or real books?
Now, the old me would have said real books. The new me has leaned in since, especially when I went back to school and had to do a lot of research, and it's like you couldn't print out all those papers. I had to leverage some systems to do things to learn how to read online because it's definitely different from holding a book. But I think having a book is nostalgic, but I'm going to go with ebooks this time. But although there's some nostalgia to holding a real book, because there's a science to reading online, I think, and you have access to more accommodations and accessibility features to help really support that and mark things. And so I'm going to say ebook.
I love that you said there's a science to reading online. That's a whole nother conversation. Hold on. I'm going to hold on to that because we're going to come back to that. Okay. Standardized testing or project-based assessment?
Project-based all day. I think that's going to be one of our movements because like standardized testing, I mean, it's just like, what does it really tell you? I think that when it's project-based, you get more out of it. You get soft skills. You get more than just, do I know it or do I know? I don't know it. I get other skills because I'm working through inquiry and critical thinking to really help solve a problem.
I love it. All right. Creative arts integration or STEM focus?
Well, kind the same. So I do these STEAM events. So I always add the arts into the
Yeah.
STEM part, but I do STEM events too. That's around like coding and different things. So I'm going to say both here. I think they're essential to both fostering critical thinking. I think that the creative arts can be integrated into STEM.
There it is. Okay. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
It's crazy that I'm a night owl for sure, but I am early. I like to wake up early.
It still flows into it.
I probably don't get enough sleep. I am a night owl, so I would lean on night owl more than anything if I had to choose.
All right. All right. Couple of more audiobooks or podcasts.
That's a hard one. I think podcasts are more engaging, and I think if it's an audiobook, it depends on the person reading the books. There are some very monotone authors that are reading out there that isn't as enlightening, and so I'm going to go with podcast.
You are so, and I say that to people all the time. I'm like, it depends. Who's reading it? Who's reading it? Okay, well, I'll get the book. Don't worry. Last one: flexible scheduling or fixed timetable.
Flexible scheduling. I think with flexible, you can add some fixed pieces in there, but I think when you have flexible, it aligns more with creating these personalized learning experiences that I think are really important for our students right now because everyone learns differently. And if it's flexible, you can create different paths for them.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to go. Thank you for playing. That was great. That was so funny to me because everybody's like, no, girl, both. And I'm like, okay. Because I know that. I just know how a lot of educators are innovative and creators, how we think. And it is the both and. But I'm the same way with I want flexible, but there are certain things that are just like, this is scheduled, period, and it's not going to change. But then the rest of it is scheduled. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to the call of action, which is where I would like for you to tell us about your classes that you offer, the free ones, the master classes, anything that you have coming up, because that's our call to action to be able to come in, connect with you, and literally activate what we need to be better people, to be better educators. You said be better business people in whatever field that you're working in, because we're incorporating technology that is necessary and needed. So provide any actionable call to actions you have for us, and how do we connect with you?
Right. Well, let me call your action. If you're looking for support in elevating your instructional practices and leveraging and really maximize the work that you do, you can come connect with me at growwithdrmac.com. I offer coaching. I have monthly workshops, and I also have an online community you can join. And I'm looking to connect with others. So I find that I connect with other people when they join me. Like sometimes, we have certain things, but I love learning from other people too. And so the different fields, the different aspects, and also challenges my own thinking when I'm in the workshops and live with people. And so you can connect with me on growwithdrmac.com. You can follow me on social media. I'm always posting when I am offering those sessions, and it usually happen the first Saturday of the month, every first Saturday. So the next one is coming up soon. And then you can also follow me on social media at Dr. J.E. McDonald, all platforms. And so Instagram, X, LinkedIn, TikTok. I'm trying to get better at TikTok, but I'm working on it. But still come and follow me and connect with me.
I think I feel like I do great on TikTok for like a week, and then I'm like, I got something else to do. I'm like, okay, TikTok, thanks. And then like somebody I posted. I'm like, oh Lord, let me post some more stuff on TikTok. So then I go back. So I'm like you. I'm trying to do better. Okay, we pause right here really quick to do if you want to do a shout out to your undergrad, your grad, or if you are a member of a sorority or organization and you want to shout them out. We pause right here so you can able to shout them out at this time.
I'm not a member of it. I'm a member of some organizations. Can I shout them out? Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to give a shout out to the National Alliance of Black School Educators, where we are empowering learners. I will also, let's see, who else can I give a shout out to? Black women educational leaders. Definitely want to give a shout out to their, we're always amplifying voices in our community. And so I share those because those two are, very personal and dear to me, because I think that having someone to invest in you and to invest in the work that you do and bring it back to the community is really important. And so I want to give a big shout out to NAPSI and Be Well.
Yes, and I'll see y'all at NAPSI this year, so I'm excited.
All right, I'm going to be there too.
Yeah, so we're going to do another podcast. Do a quick look. Hey, tell me what you're doing. What you doing? And so I'm excited about that. And yes, women leaders.
Black women educational leaders, yeah.
Black women educational leaders. I had another guest on. I can't remember her name right now, but it's going to come to me later on.
Oh,
And she,
Trelane.
yes. And of course, she shouted it like, girl, tell us about it so we can, what do we do? Like, what's happening? So she was like, yeah.
Yes.
So thank you for doing that. All right. So this is how we wrap up. Really quick, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, out of your life, away from family and friends, to come on the podcast. But this is how we ended it, and I love this part. A member of Little Shallow Baptist Church on Otterdam Road in Port, Virginia. Shout out Southside VA. I love y'all. And I'm the pastor of the church, but you're the guest pastor. And we have opened the doors of the church. But the guest pastor always leaves us something encouraging, something, what can we hold on to get through the rest of the week? And however you want to this, people sing, rap, tell their favorite quote, recite some poetry, or just give us something encouraging to motivate us to carry on for the rest of the week. I'm going to give that to you. And then we are going to end this session. It has been amazing. I feel like I need to do a part 2. Matter of fact, I already know I'm going to do a part 2 because technology is essential. And then I'm going to get you to come on tips and tools. We're going to talk about that later on. We do Instagram Live really quick. So you can give us some quick tips and tools. We focus on teachers. Like, how can we help you do something tomorrow to make your life easier? But yes, however you want to end this amazing podcast episode, please do so.
I like to share with people that challenges are always opportunities for success. And so, sometimes we go through things and we see it as like, why me? This is too much. But like, look at it as an opportunity, because that's how we learn, how we grow, how we fail forward, and we continue disrupting and making a positive impact. And so I want to encourage you to fail forward and look at any challenge coming your way as an opportunity for success or growth.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, TEC family, welcome. Dr. Mac, we appreciate you so much. Thank you. See y'all later. All right, hold on one second. Let me end the recording. That was so